Have you ever felt like someone was protecting you without there being any no one to your around? There are those who they call that intuition, others destiny, but there are who they know with the soul that they were not alone, that an invisible presence, serene and powerful, accompanied in silence. And if I told you that this presence has name, and his name is Raphael, a being of light that walks among us, but almost no one recognizes it. An angel hidden for centuries, who guards a power as sacred as it is feared, the gift of the divine healing. We're not talking about spiritual metaphors, but real, inexplicable, miraculous interventions. This is not a more video. This is an invitation for you to stay with me until the end, because what you are about to hear can transform the manner. What do you understand? The faith, the pain, and the hope. And if you believe in God, if you feel that there is a force major guiding your steps, leave your like now. Same. Yes, now. And don't close this video, because this message, perhaps, isn't reaching you by chance. Today I will reveal to you the history of the Archangel Raphael, the heavenly healer who walks among the men, the silent protector that church preferred not to exalt, and whose existence could be the answer to many of your unheard prayers. But first, I want to ask you for something special, a sign of faith. At the end of this chapter, I will repeat a phrase, and if you feel in your heart, leave it written in the comments, not by me, but as a public act of belief. A spiritual declaration that tells the world, I believe in the angels of God, even if I cannot see them. That will be your sign, a simple but powerful gesture. Because when the faith is pronounced, it is also activated. Are you ready to discover who is Raphael? Are you ready to look up at the sky with new eyes and maybe recognize who it has already touched you without you? Did you know? So, open your mind, silence your doubts, and come with me, because the history of the healing angel begins now. In the celestial world, each name encloses a purpose, a divine essence, and Raphael is not the exception. Raphael comes from the Hebrew Raphael, which means God has healed or God's medicine. It's not just any title, it's a promise, a declaration of heavenly mission that defines its existence. Restore, heal, return what the pain has snatched. But who is this being really? Unlike Miguel, the celestial warrior, or Gabriel, the messenger, Raphael operates in the shadows. Their role is not the battle, neither the advertisement, but the subtle intervention. He is the healer of the soul, the physician of the invisible. And maybe that's why his name has been erased from so many official narratives. Few they know that the Raphael's name does not appear in the most of the Protestant Bibles. It was relegated to the called apocryphal books after the Reformation. Their history, considered too symbolic or esoteric, was removed from the canon. Why? What were they really afraid? Maybe they were afraid the power it contains his figure, because Raphael not only represents the physical healing, but also the reconnection between the man and the divine. In ancient times, he was invoked in prayers of protection, in purification rituals, in light ceremonies. The Essenes, a Jewish mystical group who lived in the deserts, it venerated as one of the 7 spirits before the throne of God. In the tradition early Christian, Raphael was known and respected. The early fathers of the church, they spoke of him as the angel of medicine, the guardian of the travelers, the protector of the blind and those who suffer. But with time, your name became awkward, too mystical for the rational theology, too powerful for the religious structure that sought order and control. Thus, Raphael was silenced. And yet, he never left. Still present in the dreams of the sick, in the whispers of the desperate prayers, in the testimonies of healings impossible, because their name, although hidden, remains resonating in the hearts of those who have faith. Maybe you also have you ever felt an inexplicable peace, a sudden relief, a protection invisible in half of the danger, that it's also Raphael, a name forgotten by the world but remembered by the soul. There are stories in the Bible that looks like stories, until one discovers that each line hides sacred truths. The Book of Tobit, considered apocryphal by some current Christians, is one of those hidden gems. Its pages recount one of the few times in which an angel walked alongside a man for days without him knowing knew. Tobit, a just man, had gone blind. His son, Tobias, was sent on a dangerous journey in search of a solution. And it was there, in the beginning of that crossing, which a young unknown offered to accompany him. His name, Azariah, but that was not his true name. It was Raphael, in disguise. During the On the Way, Raphael protects Tobias from dangers mortals, teaches you how to use the liver of a fish to scare away demons. The guide toward his future wife, Sarah, harassed by an evil spirit that had killed 7 men before consummating their marriages, and finally instructs on how return it to him the sight of his father. All this without revealing his identity. Only at the end, when everything has been restored, love, health, sight and peace, Raphael manifests himself as who he really is, one of the 7 angels presenting the prayers of the righteous before the Most High. This story isn't just a tale of faith, it's a spiritual map. Tobias represents the lost human being searching for meaning, facing trials, and Raphael is the guide invisible, the faithful companion who does not need recognition to fulfill his mission. It's not that what so many of us have we ever felt, that there was something, someone, protecting us, guiding us, even when we didn't know where to go, where we were going. The Book of Tobit is more than an ancient text, it is a revelation. Raphael walks with those who have faith, even when they don't see it. And maybe you are in a trip. Maybe you face decisions, difficult times, illnesses, fears, or loneliness. What if I told you you're not alone? Raphael does not always appear with wings or light resplendent. Sometimes it hides in the form of a friend, an unexpected advice, a saving coincidence. Just like Tobias, you could be walking next to an angel without know it. In all cultures, there are stories about miraculous healings. Some occur in hospitals, others in temples, and many in silence, far from any logical explanation. Again and again, the name that appears in these narratives is not that of a doctor or scientist, but that of an angel, Raphael, the heavenly healer. His power is not limited to healing physical illnesses. Raphael is described as the angel who heals the body, mind, and soul. In traditions ancient, it is invoked not only to recover the health, but also to calm the anguish, dispel the despair, and protect against energies dark. The parents of the desert, Christian mystics of the 4th century, said they felt his presence during their prayer retreats. Some, they claimed that by invoking their name, wounds were closing, fevers yielded, and spiritual torments were relieved. It wasn't a myth, it was faith in action. And not only in Christianity. In Islam, Raphael is known as Israfel, the angel who will blow the trumpet in the day of the judgment, but also as the one who brings relief and announces the divine mercy. In mystical Judaism, the Kabbalah, it recognizes as the ruler of the Sephirah of Tifereh, the harmony, the beauty, and the healing. There are testimonies of people who, when praying to him with fervor, they experimented sudden improvements in diseases incurable. A mother in Colombia tells how his son woke up from a coma after placing a picture of Raphael next to him. In Italy, a congregation whole attributed the disappearance inexplicable from a tumor to a novena dedicated to the Archangel. But the most impressive thing of all is that these miracles don't happen with noise or show. Raphael performs in the hidden like a silent doctor who enters the night, restores the broken, and it goes away without waiting for applause. He doesn't seek to be seen, he only seeks to be summoned. In a world where medicine advances, but souls sink in anxiety, anguish, and spiritual emptiness, Raphael continues being that beacon that heals beyond the physical. the one that, with a simple whisper, can calm internal storms that neither we don't even know how to name. Maybe that's why has been feared, because a power that cannot be controlled is frightening. And Raphael, with its serene light and its divine authority, does not respond to the men, only to God. Because an angel with so much power, with a history so moving and miracles so documented, has been practically silenced by the church. The figure of Raphael is one of the oldest and most respected of the celestial realm, and yet its name is barely mentioned in masses, catechisms, or modern sermons. Unlike Miguel, the exalted warrior in hymns, or Gabriel, the messenger celebrated in the Annunciation, Raphael seems to have been erased from the popular religious imagination, and that is no coincidence. During the Council of Trent in the 16th century, many stories considered too symbolic were excluded of the official canon. The Book of Tobit, where Raphael has his greater prominence, was one of the displaced texts. With he too vanished he public recognition of healing angel, but the people do not forget. In private visions and apparitions not officially recognized, Raphael has continued to manifest himself. Mystics of different eras have reported meetings with a luminous figure, bearer of golden balms, who played without hands and spoke voiceless. In some monasteries ancient their image appears in stained glass windows without name, with a pilgrim's staff and a fish in the hand, symbols of his appearance in Tobias's journey. In medieval alchemy, Raphael was represented as the mediator between the body and the spirit, the agent that helped transmute the lead of the disease in the gold of the healing. For Kabbalists, he is the custodian of the East, the guardian of the air and of the breathing, the very basis of life. Still so, in modern altars, their name is rarely heard. Is his power too free, too unpredictable to fit in rigid ecclesiastical structures, or does his role as curator threaten the authority of those who set themselves up as the sole intermediaries between the man and God? Because Raphael does not need a temple, nor permission, nor complex ritual. He comes when he is called with faith, regardless of religion or rank, and that kind of power is annoying. Today, your face remains hidden from many, but for those who they look with the eyes of the soul, its light is unmistakable, because silence cannot extinguish what shines from the origin of the world. And although try to erase it, Raphael continues walking among us. In a world wounded by disease, anxiety and hopelessness, the question many are asking is, where is God? Where are your angels? And although it is not always seen, there is who they assure that Raphael continues here, acting, healing, guiding, not with trumpets neither rays of light, but in the most intimate and silent moments of our existence. Modern testimonies speak of inexplicable presences in hospitals, of sudden cures, of decisions made on instinct that prevented tragedies. Ordinary people from different parts of the world tell us a dream, an inner voice or an unexpected symbol led to finding relief where there was only pain. A woman in Mexico, he said, having felt a hand on his back during the operation, although I was alone in the room. A nurse in Spain account as a terminally ill man began to improve after his daughter placed under her pillow a picture of the Archangel Raphael. In Brazil, a priest claims to have clearly heard the name Raphael during a healing prayer where the science no longer offered hope. Are coincidences or signs? The prayers to Raphael are still alive. There are novenas dedicated to his healing power, rituals of light in whose presence is invoked to restore bodies and souls. Even in non-Christian spiritual circles, his name is respected as a symbol of universal harmony. Raphael represents something that transcends religions, the hope that we are not alone in our fight against the suffering, that there is a force invisible that acts when all the doors close. And maybe you, when watching this video, remember a moment in that something or someone helped you without explanation. Maybe you were once on the verge of giving up, and something held you back. Maybe you dreamed with a being of light. Maybe you cried, and felt peace out of nowhere. That also could to have been Raphael. He does not appear to be worshipped, but to fulfill a mission. His glory is not the recognition, but the relief that leaves behind him. And today, more than ever, we need that light, a guide among so much confusion, a balm in half from the noise. Because if there is an acting angel in earth, that's Raphael, and maybe already has touched your life. Without you, you knew, has come this far, and that's no coincidence. Just because have you felt in some time that these words, they spoke straight to your soul. Maybe this message didn't come from me, but from something higher, something you needed here. Throughout this journey, we have rediscovered Raphael, the angel of divine medicine, the hidden guide, the silent protector who has been relegated to oblivion by those who they fear, what they cannot control. But Raphael hasn't disappeared. He's just become more subtle. Today, more than ever, it continues acting, in every heartfelt prayer, in every tear that cries out for relief, in every soul that refuses to lose the faith, even in half of the pain. Raphael is the manifestation of the love that heals, of the faith that touches it invisible, of the light that needs no applause to shine. And now, I make you one last call. If you believe in God, if you feel that there is forces elders who guide our way, share this video. Someone else might need listen to these words as much as you do. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out the next mysteries we will reveal together. And above all, let me a comment with the phrase I promised in the first chapter. I believe in the angels of God, even if I cannot see them. Because that simple statement, it can be the spark that awakens something deep within you, or in other than the reed. Don't keep this light to yourself. Make it your own. Shine. Take it to those who live in darkness, to whom have lost the hope, to whom need to remember that the divine has abandoned. And before closing this video, think in this, that, what if, right now, there is a being at your side, invisible, waiting only for a sign of faith to act? That what would happen if Raphael already has been with you, in your moments more difficult? Maybe you didn't see one today miracle, but you heard a truth. And sometimes that it is also healing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing. And if there is other mystery you want us to explore together, write it down in the comments. See you in the next video, where a new hidden truth waits to be revealed.